It's clear that the South African government is the major perpetrator in its repression, but the line between perpetrator and victim had become quite blurred, and the violence on both sides was really quite extreme in some cases. And so South Africa, in its negotiation process, had to deal with that. Some things had happened in the resistance as well, that, you know, you've probably all heard about the necklacings and the kind of township running street battles between Inkatha, the Zulu party, and the ANC in the late 1980s. And that kind of violence is what really determined the negotiation process, and also continued as violence during the negotiation process as political parties vied for control of the negotiations. Poverty has increased. The difference between the very rich and the very poor has increased. It's now it's mostly about class now, about wealth and poverty, but it's also that class differential has historic roots in a black and white contrast, of course. And so the extreme poverty and the social tension as a result of that poverty has led to an extremely high crime rate. And that's what you've probably heard more about now in the context of the World Cup than actually the kind of political violence that we associate with the early 1990s or the late 1980s. It's always Johannesburg, the crime capital of Africa, or, you know, can the World Cup tourists be kept safe? Will South Africa's police be up to this? Those were really more the questions that you were seeing. Although I don't think you can really distinguish between the historic and political reasons for the crime and just sort of look at it as crime separately. I do think it has political and historical roots that are quite important to remember. South Africa has shown the world that not only it, but an African country can successfully host an event of these kinds of global dimensions, and can do so with flair and with a lot of excitement. So I think South Africans and the continent as a whole is eager for this kind of a positive, energetic, and very sort of quite layered and nuanced account of what South Africa, and by inference, of course, the continent has to offer.